of the maybe only true things that Christiansburg may have even said, he recorded as saying, in some of the emails, is that all of these people have something on each other. So, given the complexity and the depth of the broadcast, is it possible, from what you guys have seen, is everybody guilty in some way, shape, or form?
Well, I wouldn't use the word guilty to apply to everyone. I think there are bad, really bad actors that the RCMP, I hope, are currently investigating, in addition to Christian Firth, who, with my questioning, openly admitted to committing a number of criminal offenses by taking a resume from Bogner, the original whistleblower, and deliberately, not once, but up to 4 times, deliberately manipulating the work experience so that they would qualify for the contract. That is 100% forgery and fraud.
But how do you trust the RCMP? They're all.
Well,
Are they not?
well, you raise an interesting issue. It is our national police service. I have some issues with the handling of the SNC Lavalin affair with Justin Trudeau. As a former prosecutor, I prosecuted hundreds and hundreds of cases involving obstruction of justice, which is the very same charge they were looking at charging Justin Trudeau with. My interpretation of the evidence, very clear, very straightforward. The RCMP, however, had a different view that the information that they sought, that the government refused to receive, was required for them to lay a charge, to have the reasonable and probable grounds to lay a charge. I say that's crap. I say that's an example of two-tier level of policing, and there was no political will to charge a sitting prime minister with a criminal offense. Okay? But the other investigations in relation to Arrive-Can, we know that there are at least a half a dozen. I think it's probably more than a dozen. That's all that the RCP would commit to when I asked the question. And we know that the day before Christian Firth testified at the bar in the House of Commons for his refusal to cooperate and answer questions, the RCMP raided his house the night before and removed all kinds of electronics, probably papers and what have you. So where that stands, we'll never know. The police will not tell us. They'll say it's an ongoing investigation. We can't jeopardize the ongoing investigation. Proof is in the pudding, and the charges are laid, that becomes public.
So it is ongoing.
It is
right now.
very much ongoing. Okay?
So, based on what you said about the RCMP, led me to think that they have received some sort of kickbacks somehow. So, it's a reasonable.
I've got no evidence of that, so I can't.
So, will you hire forensic investigators to investigate, the finances of these RCMP personnel? Because clearly, everything is money. Everything is money. So, you follow the money. That's where you find the crime.
Our party hasn't taken a position on that, sir, so I'm not going to opine.
Okay, I would recommend that.
So, I'll take it under advisement.
Thank you.
Back?
The compromised, foreign compromised MPs, the emphasis list. Any way to get that list out? Or,
Compromised MPs?
yes, the foreign entities.
Foreign interference?
Yeah.
What?
Well, we're also in a very dangerous world. And so potentially MPs that are giving information to foreign powers have been getting security reports for the last 3 months on what's partaking in Europe and in Asia. And we have our military sources in Europe potentially endangered because of.
It's up to Justin Trudeau and his government to
So
release the names.
No way to force that.
No other process for us or any other opposition MP or leader to do that other than the government. But I think what it does exemplify is how less serious Justin Trudeau is with respect to foreign interference compared to our American counterparts.
100%.
Okay? Last example.
And I'll just add just very clearly, our positions in those things.
Yeah.
We have been doing so since the beginning.
Yeah.
And,
But the sad thing is, we call on the government to do a lot of things.
Yes.
Like, on the Arrive scam, we called on the government with the will of the entire House, I might add, no, with the exception of the Liberals. Every opposition MP agreed that the government, by, was it June of 2024, give us details as to how they were gonna recoup that upwards to $60 million that was wrongfully sent to all kinds of contractors and subcontractors. Again, crickets and silence from the government.
Last question.
Last question?
Yeah, we've got to get out of here.
Hi, Larry.
Right.
As you know, active in the Arrive Can, right? And I'm one of the 22,000 person who got tickets, right? So we are very upset with that because our voices hasn't been heard. Now, I've been hounding you and hounding you for an inquiry or a commission or something to bring this, now this should be front page news, it isn't. But I was hoping that bringing us in and making us testify would bring the subject really popular, and then the mainstream media would not be able to ignore us anymore. So can you help me?
Well, I'll try my best. What upsets me is actually to this day, provincial prosecutors, municipal prosecutors are still prosecuting COVID-related bylaw infractions. And even though everything has been lifted, and although that was done, I don't know, almost 2 years ago, former Justice Minister, Attorney General David Lametti did that, and I immediately wrote to him and said, would you cooperate with all of your provincial and territorial attorney generals, and will you instruct all your prosecutors to cease forthwith any and all prosecutions related to the Arrive Camp scandal? Nothing but crickets from him, no response. So I'm hearing anecdotally from a number of individuals from across this country that they're still being prosecuted on this. So I think it might, to your point, it might take an inquiry, it may take a committee to study this, or might even civilly, it might even take a class action against the government. All right, so there are a number of options to pursue, but I want the bleeding to stop, and it's still continuing. So I got to work on that.
So unfortunately, we're out of time, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, out there.
I was going to make
All right, everybody, thanks for joining. And Christine, yeah, I'll say hi to Ryan for you. Tell him, give him a message. So yeah, this was a town hall here in Oakville. Sorry, I'm shaking around my phone here, but it's a town hall in Oakville with the candidate. And it was pretty much, most people had left, and then Larry Brock arrived late, and so he took those few questions. Hi. So we got Garnet, Genuis. Okay, that's reconnecting. It keeps dropping my feed. So I'm going to say bye to you guys. And yeah, it was an interesting night and an interesting day. And we'll see. Our Northern Perspective says they're going to be in Ottawa on Monday, so we'll see them there. All right? Okay. Let me just get this here like this. There you go. Freedom.
Freedom?
Yeah, see you guys. Thanks for joining.